Where can you find a gorgeous Tuscan-themed resort around a 320-acre lake in the middle of the desert, a half-hour's drive from the fabulous Las Vegas Strip? Does such a thing even exist? You bet it does. And it's called Lake Las Vegas.
And believe it or not, it's been out there for 30 years already. It used to be in the middle of nowhere, but Henderson is fast encroaching, and it's not so far out as it used to be.
So get ready, because this adventure starts right now.
A couple of months ago, returning home on a Southwest flight, we passed right over Lake Las Vegas, and you've got to admit that is a pretty spectacular view. It actually inspired us to take a closer look at this jewel in the desert, and last week, we finally got over there. We've just left the outskirts of Henderson, Nevada, cruising east on Lake Mead Parkway. Now, I remember Paula, Scott, and myself driving out this way back in 1995 to see the construction of Lake Las Vegas literally just getting started. Now, 30 years later, it boasts 15,000 places to live in 19 communities and an upscale luxury lifestyle. Stay tuned, because we're going to talk about its beginnings and evolution later on in the video. Now, since we don't happen to own one of these gorgeous custom homes, we have to content ourselves with a little tour of the public areas of Lake Las Vegas, and there are plenty of those. We'll start right here at the Hilton. Parking is free, and we practically had the garage to ourselves. We have not been here, folks, so we are all going to discover this property together. We are already liking this outdoor covered passageway and the sneak peek down into the village. The architecture and roof lines are simply out of this world. The end of that long hallway lands us at the exquisite courtyard for the Hilton Lake Las Vegas. Appropriate for the design, you've got Italian cypresses, manicured shrubbery of varying heights, and a graceful palm evoking Mediterranean breezes. Note that the hotel rooms wrap around it, and many have balconies. This hotel property originally opened as a Ritz-Carlton, but it closed in 2010 just after 8 years in operation. Fast forward 3 years, it came under the Hilton brand and remains so today. Lovely grand piano and stunning chandelier. We are still on that second level, just past the meeting and event spaces, and on our way to the hotel lobby. The Hilton is described as a Mediterranean-style oasis, just 20 miles from the Strip, but worlds away. Indeed, wait till you get a load of this lounge area. But first, a look at the proper front of the place. This fountain is the first thing you notice. And can't you just picture it right at home in some piazza in Tuscany? The fountain sits in the center of an artfully paved circular drive. The hotel front is a thing of beauty, home to a total of 349 guest rooms. This is a Hilton property, so you would book a room or suite via the Hilton.com main website. Out here, you'll find a separate building housing the Ravella Spa and Salon with 24 treatment rooms and an assortment of services. From the hotel parking lot, we also get a peek at the pool deck. What a setting with the mountains as a backdrop. Even though it was a beautiful day, when we went by later, there was no one there but the lifeguards. All right, back indoors and a closer examination of this spectacular lounge space. On the far end, we find the hotel bar. Pivot, and you've got a great perspective shot of all the seating where you can relax and enjoy your cocktail. Now, I could really get into this. To our right, a glass-top dining table, couch seating, and some lovely Italian-inspired art. And yes, there is an actual hotel check-in desk amidst all this European splendor in case you've booked a getaway here. The lounge opens up to a second-floor balcony where you truly get the money shot of the courtyard below. It doesn't really shout Las Vegas, does it? It's transportive, feels very European. We will surely go visit that fire pit when we get to ground level. And there's our first tease of the lake. In fact, let's do that now. One thing Paula really liked about this whole layout was all of the different levels and the various stairways between them. You'll see more of those as we go along. And here's our ground level of the Hilton courtyard. The colors of the tile and the building facade suggest sun-washed sand, perfect for the setting. The fire pit carries through the same warm colors and offers plush seating for cool evenings. Next up, a visit to the village at Lake Las Vegas, or what was once known as MonteLago Village. This pretty plaza is home to yet another smaller fountain and a little gazebo. Step off the other end, and here is the lake that gives the place its name. The village was inspired by the Tuscany region of Italy and features a modern version of cobblestone streets, shops, restaurants, and outdoor gathering places. Along this avenue are a spot serving up fresh and healthy south of the border cuisine, a luxury pet boutique, the always useful UPS store, and a ladies' consignment clothing shop. And here is that inviting patio we saw from up on the walkway when we first arrived. It belongs to a restaurant called Vino del Lago and looks like a spot we might want to check out. But sadly, the place is up for lease. We noticed many empty storefronts in the village. Granted, it is 10:45 on a Tuesday morning when we were walking through, but overall it must not get the foot traffic needed to support a lot of businesses. Matter of fact, it couldn't support a casino either. And that's a shame, because imagine living right there and just stepping down to the piazza to play a few slots at the famous Casino MonteLago. This pretty set of steps might lead us up to the front of the casino. You know us, have camera, will travel. In this direction is a private residence called Vieira. That's some beautiful architecture right there. And across the parking lot, here's the main entrance to what was Casino MonteLago. It was a 40,000 square foot casino opening in 2003 and closing permanently 10 years later after several operators couldn't make it work. The lure of Las Vegas 20 miles away is just too, well, let's just say, alluring. All right, let's continue our walking tour. The pub is the Lake Las Vegas version of a sports bar and ale house with a menu serving up classic American bites. I really like the look of this place. The Speakeasy is another pub option with some tasty-looking menu items and nice happy hour prices. This avenue heads towards the lake. Take note of this place on the right. We'll be back there very shortly. On our left, a ladies' boutique. Over here, a furniture shop and design studio. Golf cart rentals. And a handful of other businesses focused on self-care. By this point, our camera gal had been on the job for an hour and a half, and if she was looking for a tea break, I knew she wasn't going to pass up a spot decorated like this. Mrs. Coco is a picture-perfect cafe where everything you see is worthy of an Instagram post. The brand had its origins in Europe, where Mrs. Coco studied design in Paris. She then applied her creativity to this little cafe, a celebration of high-end extravagance and beauty. The menu features a wide variety of breakfast and lunch items, and the selections in the dessert case look magazine layout perfect.
Good morning, everyone from Lake Las Vegas. You know, when I was doing my research before I came over here, I saw Mrs. Coco's on the website, and I knew that I was going to be stopping here. I could not resist the decor and the menu. And as much as I might love to sample some of their larger items, I just settled for a couple of sweets and a mega large cup of English breakfast tea. My face may be a little bright red because it's quite warm outside and I've been walking a lot, but I still had to get some tea. So I got a croissant filled with apricot, and I had to do a bunch of digging to actually find the apricot, but I did find a piece that has some. It's a big piece. Let's give it a try. Crispy, crunchy. A little on the dry side. I need some tea. And then the other option I chose was a full-on dessert. She called it raspberry mascarpone or raspberry limoncello. Raspberry limoncello. Now, it is springtime. Raspberries come to mind. She gave me a little bit of whipped cream as well. Butterfly. That is chilled and refreshing. One more bite of that one. That's a winner. Super fresh. Tastes like sunshine. I'm such a nut for both lemon and raspberry. That is a winner. All right, I still haven't been to the lake. So that is coming up in just a moment.
At last, the lake. How about that floating stage? The Village offers live entertainment. Check the Lake Las Vegas website for the event calendar. What a perfect day to spend on the water. Lake Las Vegas is a 320-acre reservoir with miles and miles of shoreline and a lifestyle built around it. There's a full-service marina here right adjacent to the Village. You can rent everything from kayaks to paddleboards to electric boats to yacht cruises at the Lake Las Vegas Water Sports. and they've got a 5-star rating on TripAdvisor. These folks have just set out on an electric-powered Duffy boat headed for open water. Now here's a fun fact. They're likely residents, not tourists. Lake Las Vegas is more than a resort. It's an award-winning master plan community with 13,000 or more households on 3,600 acres, and more construction always underway. One of the most appealing parts of the village is all the Alfresco Dining, with patios right along the waterfront. Luna Rosa is a family-owned restaurant serving up modern Italian cuisine. Another Italian eatery is Da Remo, with its patio facing the marina. And the trifecta of Italian-inspired dining options wraps up with Bella Linda, where you can enjoy cappuccino in the morning, gelato and cold treats on a warm day, and all in a really fun exterior. We mentioned all the folks that call Lake Las Vegas home, so what could be more useful than a local grocery store? At the end of this row of empty storefronts is Seasons Grocery. Let's take a peek inside.
Well, hello guys. I just left Seasons Grocery. It's private property. They don't let filming in there, but I thought I'd give you my impressions while I was still thinking about it. Lovely young lady working the register in there. They have a little bit of everything. She told me that they are the only grocery store within several miles unless you go back into Henderson. So it's, if you live here and you need something, it's here. They have a huge selection of wines, liquors, whiskeys. They have a deli counter where they will slice your lunch meat for you. Lots of cold drinks, some fresh fruits and things, a little bit of everything. And boy, you could have a swanky party if you just raided the liquor area. Anyway, Seasons Grocery, kind of fun.
One thing Lake Las Vegas has in abundance is places to be outdoors, take a walk, and enjoy some great scenery. As we do that, let's go back to where it started. This project began way back in the 1960s, but it wasn't until 1991 that it received all the necessary approvals and water from Lake Mead actually began to fill the reservoir. The lake is actually built in the channel of the Las Vegas Wash, a critical waterway that is in fact the only storm runoff for the whole valley. A bypass had to be built. There are 2 huge 7-foot diameter pipes under this man-made lake to allow the waters from the wash to still flow into Lake Mead. Paula absolutely loved the inside of this underpass for some reason. I'm guessing it's how the arch frames the view in both directions. What a surprising place to call home in the middle of the Mojave Desert. Construction on the first homes began in 1995 and has continued ever since via a number of home builders. The latest data we can find says that nearly 34,000 people live here at Lake Las Vegas. Here's a tip. If you live here and need a moment of serenity, this quiet little duck pond is just the ticket. And here's another one. Such a pretty pond that Paula had to pull off the road as she was leaving just to take a closer look. The upper pond pours via a small but mighty waterfall into a lower pond whose surface is almost as smooth as glass. This beautiful spot can be found right before you reach the main road, Lake Mead Parkway. And there's a small dirt pull-off and parking lot right there so you don't miss it. That little wooden bridge we saw a moment ago leads to the premier golf instruction facility in Las Vegas, the High Performance Golf Institute. No better place to up your game than this. And if you're ready to play around, Reflection Bay Golf Club, one of the top resort golf courses in the USA, is located right here at Lake Las Vegas.
Lake Las Vegas. What an amazing place. Tell you what though, there is one other resort on property over there, and it's called the Westin. We thought we had a little bit too much content, so we didn't film it, but it's just as beautiful as everything else down there.
We'll save that for another trip in the future because I would be happy to go back to Lake Las Vegas anytime.
Yeah, it's gorgeous over there.
It's gorgeous. Hey, you might know a couple of big name celebrities that have made a home in Lake Las Vegas. I don't know that any of them still live there, but when she had a residency on the Strip, Celine Dion lived out there. Mike Tyson, the fighter, Chris Tucker, the comedian, and even Michael Jackson for a period of time lived at Lake Las Vegas.
And I'll tell you what, it's such a beautiful property. If you are down on the Strip and you have a car, you want a little half-day trip to get out and just see something else, take your trip over to Lake Las Vegas. It's about 20 miles from the Strip. You can go there, look at the lake. It's like being...
Grab lunch?
And it's like being in a total different country. A total different state.
It's so not Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous. All right, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button. Anything else you want to tell these nice people, Miss Paula?
Hey ladies, if you ever got to Mrs. Coco, be sure to let me know. How adorable was that place? I loved it. It is such a girly spot to go out for brunch or tea or something. It's just so cute.
Hope you had a good time. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
you.